In episode 3, we jump forward a couple of years or so in the 1910s, where Louis and Lestat are on a park bench discussing vampirism, and Louis asks him about the morality of being a vampire and if they have more of a purpose other than just pleasure and sucking blood. Lestat kind of just plays around with it, not taking it too seriously, but he does kind of, question him on, the question about morality and all that, and if it really matters with being a vampire. When Lestat takes Louis on a bit of a stroll, reading people's minds to see just who deserves to be, drained if Louis is right about morality, and Lestat finds a guy, bad enough to do that, takes him in an alleyway, breaks his neck, and prepares to suck his blood with Louis, but Louis just doesn't feel great about it, so he just grabs a rat and feeds on that, as he's been feeding on rodents for a long time, just as he kind of has in the present day. And in the present day, Daniel is talking to Louis about just how healthy his relationship with Lestat really was, and if there's some sort of, Stockholm Syndrome type of thing, or something along those lines, and Louis, of course, is defensive about it. And Daniel kind of refers to all of the old interview tapes from decades ago where there's, slightly different, things going on with what Louis said back then. And Daniel sort of refers to his new book where he mentions stuff like that. And Louis doesn't seem too happy about it, but kind of continues the story. A bit later into the night, Louis and Lestat go to his nightclub, where Lestat kind of roasts the piano player because he's been playing the same tune all of the nights he's been there. And he basically, goes up and, plays the piano with him to kind of show him up, and then the piano player just decides to join in on playing, and everything seems alright. Then Louis meets up with an old friend who's come back from war to sort of take a break of sorts with his fellow soldiers, and they start, talking for a while until they go to, I guess, the swamp, and also continue talking until they start, kissing and doing other stuff, which calls back to an earlier moment where Lestat is basically like, we can, do whoever we want as long as, we come back to each other, which is a little unhealthy and also slightly funny the way Lestat says it in the actual episode. So that happens, and they subtly hint over time that maybe Lestat was watching Louis. And, of course, Daniel mentions this when they cut back to modern day. A while later, Louis goes back to his family's home, I guess to sort of celebrate his niece's birthdays, and it's become more clear than ever that he is not welcome there, after his mother, is like, you keep coming at night, it's bad, especially because she just keeps, disdaining him over the years. And then it gets to a point where he's, getting so mad about it all that he accidentally uses his vampire strength to break open the door and make it go flying, which scares everyone, and he leaves because of that. He then goes back home to Louis, and he's not too happy about that, and he sort of reveals that, he knew about Lestat watching, and that doesn't go too well, but I guess like a lot of the stuff that's about to happen in the show, it'll be slightly patched up not too soon later, but who knows how long that'll last for the two of them. Much later, Louis finds out that his club is being sort of foreclosed or something like that, probably along with other black-owned businesses. And, the white business people he's been talking to, since the first episode kind of, aren't helping at all. And the more he tries to, figure things out, the more he tries to save his business and keep it for himself, the more he realizes that it's just not gonna happen. And when he reads one of the businessmen's mind, played by John DiMaggio, of all people, he reads his mind and finds out that, it's not going to go well. He's, like, talking about how, man, this N-word is so funny, thinking he can, save his business. And Louis does not like that. So quite a while later, when things are getting, tense in the streets, in the, I guess, more black populated district of the city, Louis visits the businessman's home, sneaks up on him and scares him, like, hello there, and, starts talking to him. And after that is done, he's asking him why his heart is beating so fast, and that doesn't help ease the tension at all. Right down to the point where the businessman grabs a little pocket gun and shoots Louis twice, but it doesn't do anything. And just as he gives him a chance to reload, he kills him. And then much later during the day, people on the streets can find the businessman's brutalized corpse hung up on a gate with a sign attached to him saying "No whites allowed," which refers to something that I forgot to mention as well, where Louis saw a bunch of "No colored allowed" or "Whites only" signs on certain businesses and stuff, and Louis, made a "No whites allowed" sign for his business as a retaliation, and that didn't go too well. So there's that. Finally, after all that happened, stuff is getting worse in the city. There's fires happening because some, white people are just throwing Molotov cocktails at certain houses, and all of this chaos is happening along the black neighborhoods. And Louis trying to help people because I guess he feels bad for what's happened, what he's sort of caused. And at one point he decides to burst through a burning building to hopefully save someone, and then ends up finding a little girl alone and goes to save her. Now sadly, I didn't really know it was a little girl at first until, I saw the teaser for the next episode and saw it was a little girl, and I just kind of put two and two together. And I heard, based on brief research of the outline of the book story, this is also a thing that happens. Louis finds a little girl and I guess brings her in. So that was episode 3. I like that a bit. I don't know if I completely like it more than the other 2 episodes, but I think it's decent. It has some minor pacing issues, especially at the end. Even for an hour-long episode, which is a little weird. Though I guess House of the Dragon sort of has that problem, though I don't mention it too much, but Maybe it will by the end of the show. But yeah, other than that, everything's kind of the same in terms of quality. The acting's just as good, if not a little better, at this point, and some of the effects are alright. I'm gonna give episode 3 a 7 out of 10. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I hope you stay tuned for more content. And I hope you all have a good day. Bye.